Welcome to Bookish and Beyond, Money, where financial wisdom comes to life. In each episode, we break down the world's most impactful finance books, from money management guides to investment biographies. We explore key takeaways, author insights, and draw modern parallels to help you navigate today's financial landscape. Craving even more? Subscribers enjoy exclusive access to detailed book summaries, study guides, and timeline PDFs. Everything you need to deepen your financial savvy. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. This is Bookish and Beyond. Money?
All right, so are you ready to really get into this stack of financial wisdom that you sent my way? We're going to crack open Grant Sabatier's Financial Freedom audiobook, zeroing in on, his roadmap from totally broke to financially independent, expert speaker. What's the big picture takeaway you're getting from this material?
What really strikes me is how Sabatier really emphasizes the importance of mindset. He's saying it's not just about, tricks and tactics. It's about fundamentally changing how you even view money, seeing it as a tool to unlock freedom, not as the be-all, end-all, right? And that shift alone can be huge.
Yeah, it's not about just hitting some arbitrary millionaire status, right? It's more about being able to, choose how you spend your time and your energy. But what I find really eye-opening is Sabatier's own story. The dude went from $2.26 in his bank account to millionaire status in just 5 years.
Wow.
5. It just makes you wonder what would be possible if you really committed to this.
Yeah, his story is definitely a powerful example of how drastically things can change when you have a clear goal and a solid plan. He essentially compressed what most people hope to achieve in 40 years of work into a 5-year sprint.
Exactly. So he traded 5 years of intense effort for decades of freedom. So let's break down his approach, starting with this idea that money equals freedom. What does Sabatier really mean by that?
Well, he's saying that money itself isn't the end goal. It's more about what that money allows you to do. It's freedom from that 9-to-5 grind.
Yeah.
Freedom to chase your passions, freedom to spend your time on your own terms. That's the real price.
Okay, I love that idea. But let's get specific. If money were no object, how would you spend your time? It's a question worth pondering, as we go through this. What about you, expert speaker? Any secret dreams you'd unlock with financial freedom?
Well, travel is definitely high on my list. Exploring new cultures, immersing myself in different environments. That's always been a passion. But even more than that, I think the ultimate freedom would be having the time and resources to really dive deep into my own creative projects. No deadlines, no restrictions, just pure exploration.
I hear you on that. For me, it would be more time with family and friends, maybe even starting a little community garden project, something to give back and connect with nature. See, this is what I love about this whole conversation. It pushes you to define what freedom really means to you. But here's the thing that really got me fired up. Sabatier's argument that time is more valuable than money. Why wait decades to enjoy life right? Retire early, build that financial independence now. What are your thoughts on that expert speaker?
Yeah, I think he's hitting on a crucial point that often gets overlooked. We treat our time for money every day, but time is a finite resource. You can always earn more money, but you can't earn more time. So Sabatier is challenging that traditional mindset of delayed gratification. Why wait till you're 65 to really start living?
It's not about sitting on a beach doing nothing either. It's about having the choice to spend your time how you want. Whether that's traveling or launching a passion project, volunteering, or just simply being more present with loved ones.
Exactly. It's about reclaiming control over your most precious asset, your time. And if you can generate enough income, whether through investments or side hustles or passive income streams, breaking free from that 9-to-5 grind sooner than later becomes a real possibility.
So how do we figure out how much money we need to make this early retirement dream a reality? Sabatier talks about this freedom number concept. Expert speaker, break it down for us. How do we calculate this magic number?
Okay, so the freedom number is the amount of money you need invested to cover your living expenses solely from the returns without needing a traditional job. And the formula is actually pretty simple. You multiply your annual expenses by 25. But it's not just about the math, right? It's about understanding the underlying principle, which is the 4% rule.
Okay, so let's say I spend about $50,000 a year. Multiply that by 25, and my freedom number would be $1.25 million.
That's right. But let's dig a little deeper into that 4% rule, because it's been the subject of a lot of debate. It's based on historical market data, suggesting that you can withdraw 4% of your portfolio each year without running out of money over a 30-year period. But remember, market conditions can change.
So it's not like a foolproof guarantee, but it's a solid starting point for figuring out how much you need to invest to like cover your expenses and achieve that financial freedom.
Exactly. It's crucial to remember that your individual freedom number might need adjustments based on factors like your risk tolerance, investment strategy, and expected lifespan. This is where working with a financial advisor who understands your individual goals can be really invaluable.
That's a great point. It's not a one-size-fits-all formula. But let's say you've calculated your freedom number. What are the next steps according to Sabatier? How do you actually get there?
Well, Sabatier highlights two key strategies: increasing your income and cutting expenses. He advocates for aggressive savings, suggesting you aim for 50 to 80% of your income.
80%. Okay, that might be a stretch for some people.
It's definitely a significant commitment, and it's important to note that not everyone can achieve that level of savings, especially if they have high fixed costs or are early in their careers. But Sabatier's point is that the more you can save now, the faster you can reach your freedom number.
So it's about finding a balance that works for your individual circumstances. I know a lot of people get intimidated by the idea of budgeting, but Sabatier offers some pretty practical tips, right?
Absolutely. He advocates for a simple 50-30-20 rule. 50% of your income goes to needs those essential expenses. 30% is allocated for wants, things that bring you joy and enhance your quality of life. And then that remaining 20% is dedicated to savings and investments.
What I found really helpful was his advice to track how you spend your time for 1 week. Identify those time-wasting black holes, I'm looking at you, social media, and replace them with activities that get you closer to financial freedom. It's not just about money, it's about how you utilize your most precious resource, time.
That's where the concept of living for free comes into play. Now, obviously, we all have basic living expenses, but it's about being intentional and eliminating unnecessary costs. Could you downsize your housing? Find a more affordable grocery store. Cut back on subscriptions you don't use. The goal is to free up as much of your income as possible for saving and investing.
And even if you're stuck in a job you're not thrilled about, Sabatier says to use it strategically, negotiate raises, build valuable skills, and maybe even start that side hustle while you have the security of a paycheck.
That's a great point. Even a job you don't love can be a stepping stone. Use that time to build your financial foundation, gain experience, and develop income-generating skills that you can later leverage in your own ventures.
He has this great line in the book, something like, think big and act now. It's so easy to get caught up in planning and waiting for the perfect moment, but sometimes you just got to take action.
Absolutely. Even small steps taken consistently can lead to incredible results. And speaking of action, let's delve into Sabatier's take on side hustles, which seems to be a crucial piece of his financial freedom puzzle.
Okay, so we've talked about increasing income and like slashing those expenses and using your current job strategically, but let's get into what seems to be like a cornerstone of Sabatier's whole philosophy, side hustles.
Yeah.
He really advocates for, finding ways to generate income outside of your 9 to 5, doesn't he?
He does. Sabatier sees side hustles as like a powerful tool for accelerating your path to financial freedom. And what's great is that there are just so many options these days, whether it's freelancing or online business or consulting or even something more creative. There's likely a side hustle out there that aligns with your skills and interests.
Yeah, and I think that's the key, right? Finding something that you actually enjoy doing. Otherwise, it's just going to feel like another job. What advice does Sabatier give for like choosing the right side hustle?
Well, he stresses the importance of aligning your hustle with your passions and your strengths. Don't just chase what's trendy or what you think will make the most money if you don't genuinely enjoy it. You're much more likely to stick with it and be successful if it's something that truly excites you.
That makes sense. So let's say you've found your perfect side hustle. What are some of Sabatier's tips for making it successful?
Well, he emphasizes starting small and focusing on high leverage activities. Don't try to do everything at once, right? Identify those tasks that will generate the most return for your time and energy and prioritize those. He also talks about the importance of validating your idea early on, getting feedback from potential customers, and being willing to adapt and iterate as you go.
It's about treating your side hustle like a real business, even if it starts as a small project on the side.
Exactly. It's about being strategic, focusing on value creation, and constantly learning and improving. And who knows, that side hustle could eventually turn into your main source of income, allowing you to leave your 9 to 5 behind even sooner.
All right, so you're crushing your side hustle, you're saving aggressively, and now you're ready to start investing. What are Sabatier's top tips for fast-tracking your investment growth?
Sabatier is a big proponent of diversification. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. He recommends building a portfolio that includes a mix of assets like stocks and bonds and real estate and even alternative investments. This helps to spread risk and protect you from those market fluctuations.
That makes sense. He's also a big advocate for index funds, right? I know they're often recommended for beginners because they offer broad market exposure with relatively low fees.
Exactly. Index funds are a great way to passively invest in a diversified basket of stocks or bonds that track a particular market index like the S&P 500. It's a simple and effective way to participate in that overall market growth without having to pick individual stocks.
And what about automating investments? That seems to be a common thread throughout Sabatier's approach.
Oh, he's a huge fan of automation. Set up automatic contributions to your investment accounts, whether it's your 401k or your IRA or a brokerage account. This takes the emotion out of investing and ensures that you're consistently putting money away, even when you're busy or you're tempted to spend it elsewhere.
It's like paying yourself first, right? Making investing a non-negotiable part of your financial routine. And then, of course, there's the magic of compound interest, which Sabatier emphasizes throughout the book.
Compound interest is truly the eighth wonder of the world. It's the snowball effect of earning interest on your interest. The earlier you start investing, the more time you have to benefit from this exponential growth.
He also talks about the importance of reinvesting profits.
That's right. That's a key part of maximizing that compound growth. Instead of spending those dividends or capital gains, you reinvest them back into your portfolio to fuel further growth. It's like adding fuel to the fire, accelerating your progress towards financial freedom.
Now, I know you're particularly fascinated by Sabatier's real estate strategies. Can you share some of the highlights for our listener? I know there's a lot of buzz around real estate investing, but it can also feel pretty intimidating for beginners.
Yeah, Sabatier is a big believer in using leverage to build wealth through real estate. He talks about strategies like house hacking and the BRRR method, which are great examples of how you can use other people's money in the form of mortgages to acquire and grow your real estate portfolio.
Okay, for those of us who aren't real estate moguls, can you explain those strategies in simple terms?
Sure. House hacking is essentially a way to live for free or even make money while building equity in a property. You buy a multifamily property, you live in one unit, and you rent out the others. The rent from your tenants helps to cover your mortgage payments and other expenses. And you benefit from the appreciation of the property over time.
So it's a way to reduce your living expenses while simultaneously investing in real estate. Pretty clever. What about the BRRR method? What's that all about?
So the BRRR method stands for Buy, Rehab, Rent, Refinance, Repeat. It's a strategy for acquiring and renovating undervalued properties, renting them out for cash flow refinancing to pull out your initial investment, and then using that money to purchase another property. Right. It's a way to quickly scale your real estate portfolio and generate passive income.
It sounds a bit more complex than house hacking, but it also seems like it has the potential for higher returns if done correctly.
It does, but it also requires more capital and expertise and effort. It's not a passive strategy. You need to be comfortable with managing renovations, finding tenants, and handling the financial aspects of real estate investing.
So we've covered a lot of ground here. Increasing income, cutting expenses, side hustles, investing in index funds, and even exploring real estate strategies. It's a holistic approach to building wealth and achieving financial freedom. But what happens once you reach that point? What does it actually look like to live off your investments and embrace this early retirement lifestyle?
That's where things get really exciting. It's about putting your wealth to work for you, generating enough passive income to cover your expenses, and having the freedom to design a life on your own terms.
And that's exactly what we'll explore in the final part of our deep dive. We'll unpack Sabatier's insights on living off your investments, maintaining financial freedom, and ultimately living a richer life.
Welcome back. We've been deep in Grant Sabatier's world of financial freedom, covering everything from side hustles to real estate. But now let's kind of shift gears and talk about the destination itself. What does it actually feel like to achieve financial independence?
Well, Sabatier describes it as a complete transformation, not just financially, but emotionally and mentally as well.
Yeah, he talks about this incredible sense of liberation, like a huge weight has been lifted. It's not just about having the money, it's about the freedom that comes with it.
Exactly. That constant worry about bills, that feeling of being trapped in a job that you don't enjoy, it all melts away. It's replaced by this deep sense of peace and security, knowing you have the resources to live the life you want without being beholden to a paycheck.
Yeah, it's about having the space to breathe, to think creatively, to explore those new possibilities.
Sabatier also mentions this surge in creativity and purpose, almost like a whole new world opens up, when you're not constantly stressed about money.
Absolutely. You're more likely to take risks, try new things, step outside your comfort zone. And that's where the real growth and magic happens.
But it's not just about personal happiness, right? There's this ripple effect that extends beyond yourself.
That's a key point Sabatier emphasizes. Financial freedom isn't just about accumulating wealth for yourself. It's about having the resources to make a real difference in the world.
Yeah, he talks about using his wealth to support causes that he believes in, helping others achieve their own financial goals and just be more generous and compassionate.
It's about recognizing that we're all interconnected and using your resources to create a positive impact on the world around you.
He also highlights this feeling of deep gratitude. Like when you've experienced financial hardship, you truly understand the value of money and the importance of using it wisely.
You're less likely to take your financial security for granted and more likely to appreciate the simple things in life.
Okay, so we've painted this beautiful picture of financial freedom, but let's be real. The journey isn't always sunshine and rainbows.
Definitely not. It takes dedication and discipline, and sometimes even some tough sacrifices along the way. There will be bumps in the road, moments of doubt, and maybe even a few setbacks.
But Sabatier reminds us that the rewards are so worth the effort.
It's about having that long-term vision, focusing on your goals and not letting those temporary challenges derail you.
And celebrating those wins along the way, no matter how small they may seem. What do you think, expert speaker? What's the most important takeaway from all of this?
For me, it's that financial freedom is not some far-off fantasy. It's achievable for anyone who's willing to put in the work, educate themselves, and make smart choices consistently.
It's about taking control of your finances, aligning your spending with your values, and building a life that truly reflects what matters most to you.
It's about breaking free from that limiting belief that you're stuck in a predetermined financial path. You have the power to change your circumstances and create the future that you desire.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into financial freedom, one final thought for you to ponder. What's one small step you can take today to move toward your own financial goals?
Maybe it's finally calculating that freedom number, brainstorming some side hustle ideas, or even just automating a small amount of savings each month.
Remember, even the smallest actions taken consistently can create a ripple effect and lead to incredible results over time. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you found it informative and inspiring. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep striving towards that life of freedom and abundance you deserve.